Good morning. It's Thursday, May 29th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Manitoba declares a province-wide state of emergencies as wildfires rage.
A U.S. trade court blocks President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs.
And Hamilton, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder blow past Minnesota to secure their spot in the NBA Finals. Got a gloomy start to the day.
A gloomy start to the day. Also a very busy start to the day.
Yeah.
We haven't even had a chance to talk to each other yet this morning. Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing okay, but yeah, it's gloomy, and we've got another whole gloomy day ahead of us. But the weekend and into next week look kind of nice, so that's kind
all
of
right.
the carrot
Nice.
on the end of the stick. But let's have a look and see what's happening on the roads as we speak. Depending on where you are, you may see a little bit of fog out there. We're getting reports, and we do see some through the Aldershot area right now, but it really isn't affecting the drive at all. Let's go down towards Niagara and see how things are looking. Just a minute or so past 6 o'clock in the morning on your Thursday, and thanks again for spending part of your day with us. Garden City Skyway eastbound, not seeing any problems right there. Ontario Street also very, very quiet as we speak. There was a little bit of fog in around the Burlington Skyway Bridge, and again today, it's a little on the slow side. This is like 3 days in a row where it's starting to build up early and may last right through the rush hour today. Otherwise, we're in good shape. The rain has stopped as we look along the Guelph Line area, QEW. Traffic's moving along quite nicely, and the roads are drying up by the Ford plant, still a bit on the wet side. So depending on where you are, you could run into some showers here and there. That'll be our story today. 403 west of King Road, saying no problems. Okay, here's a look at some fog. A lot of reports of fog in the Mississauga area, so just be aware of those changing conditions. And up by Pearson Airport, obviously a fair amount of fog out there. But so far, not a problem on the roads. They are building normally for this time of day, maybe a little earlier in Pearson and down by the Burlington Skyway Bridge. But other than that, we're in pretty good shape. And we've got not a bad weather forecast once we get by the next day or so. So we'll give you that in a few minutes.
Thank you, Steve. A U.S. federal court has blocked President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs in almost every country, including Canada. Simone Gavros joins us from LaSalle Park in Burlington with the details. Simone, good morning.
Good morning, Rick. Well, a panel of judges in the U.S. on the International Trade Court deemed that Trump didn't have the authority to put in place a national emergency and then lead to these sweeping tariffs that we saw. Now, we're still waiting for reaction to come out from Canadian officials here. But yesterday, CNN spoke with the director of litigation with the Liberty Justice Center for more.
The Constitution gives the power to tariff to Congress, not to the president. So that means there's got to be some limit when Congress delegates that authority to the president. He can't just assert unlimited authority to tariff whenever he wants.
Trump invoked the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. That declared a national emergency and then led to those sweeping tariffs. The tariffs have disrupted global commerce and raised the risk of higher prices and recession in the U.S., as well as around the world. The court's decision blocks the, quote, Liberation Day tariffs Trump slapped last month on almost all U.S. trading partners and levies he imposed before that on China, Mexico, and Canada. The ruling does leave in place other Trump tariffs, including those on steel, aluminum, and autos. Now, the administration has already appealed the decision. The White House pushed back, releasing a statement saying, in part, quote, it is not for unelected judges to decide how to properly address a national emergency. Now, again, we're still waiting for reaction from Canadian officials here for more on how this is going to affect Canadian trade, as we've been following this for the past couple months. But for now, let's link back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much for that. Well, northern Manitoba is burning this morning, and the military has been called in to help.
The Manitoba government has declared a province-wide state of emergency due to the wildfire situation. This is a significant step we are taking to uphold our obligation to keep people safe. We're talking about roughly 17,000 people that we are looking to provide safety to and to prevent the loss of life. Fires in northern Manitoba have intensified since we gave our update this morning. Wildfire and emergency management officials have now been advised that evacuation orders have been issued for the city of Flin Flon, the communities of Pimichigamak Cree Nation, Puckatawagan Cree Nation, and the Northern Affairs community of Cross Lake.
It's Manitoba's Premier Wab Kinew. Now, another 1,200 people in neighboring Crichton, Saskatchewan have also been ordered to leave, and 3 First Nations in northern Saskatchewan have declared a joint state of emergency because of fires there.
2 men have been sentenced to jail time in a human smuggling case, which led to a family of 4 freezing to death in southern Manitoba in 2022. Harsh Kumar Patel was sentenced to 10 years in prison, while his co-accused, Steve Shand, was sentenced to 6.5 years. Prosecutors said during the trial that Patel and Shand were part of a sophisticated illegal operation that brought dozens of people from India to Canada on student visas and then smuggled them across the border.
This was not just a case of smuggling. This was a case of profound human suffering. 2 adults and 2 children, an entire family, perished in sub-zero temperatures trying to reach what they thought would be safety. Instead, they were betrayed by individuals motivated by profit with no regard for human life. We must remember that these were not just statistics or anonymous victims. They were parents, children, and people with hopes for a better life.
The 2 men were found guilty on 4 charges related to bringing people into the United States from Canada.
Hamilton police say a city bus was hit by gunfire early yesterday while passing through an area on Stony Creek Mountain. There was no one on the bus at the time except for the driver, who was not injured. Happened just after 1 yesterday morning near Mud Street and Upper Centennial Parkway. Photos sent to CHCH News by a viewer show what appears to be a bullet hole in the window of the bus and a bullet lodged in the body of the bus. The union representing HSR drivers wants more protection.
Tragedy could have been much worse. Obviously, the driver is very impacted to have been exposed and come that close to being shot. We can't minimize this. If there had been any passengers on that bus, they likely would have been hit. That bus was riddled with gunfire.
Police say there's no indication that the bus was intentionally targeted, and right now they don't have any suspect or vehicle descriptions. We are getting a better idea of what Hamilton's light rail transit stops may look like. Metrolinx has posted an online update of design concepts for some of the LRT stops. So this one shows the future King Street East underpass, which will allow light rail vehicles to travel under an existing rail line. Another shows the stop at Parkdale Avenue in Hamilton's East End. The updated maps and drawings are the first since 2017, and they are subject to change. Those stops, of course, are a long way off, with requests for proposals just out for the first major Hamilton LRT contract. We have a link to the designs on our website at chch.com. The closure of one of Hamilton's busiest roads has been delayed again. Annual maintenance on the Lincoln-Alexander Parkway had been rescheduled for this weekend. The work is now going to be done on Father's Day weekend, shutting down the link from Friday, June 13th until early Monday, June 16th. The City of Hamilton says it is adjusting the link's closure so that 2 major routes in and around Hamilton aren't affected at the same time. Here's the other closure that they're worried about. The Ministry of Transportation is set to close 2 lanes of the QEW Niagara bound on the Burlington Skyway starting tomorrow night. Weather permitting, the work will start at 10 Friday night and continue until 5 on Monday morning. Ramps from the Eastport Drive collector to the Skyway Bridge will be closed. 2 lanes of traffic on the Niagara-bound lanes of the Skyway will be open at all times. However, the construction work means that there will be delays.
Sportsline and SGA has carried OKC to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012.
SGA inside, counted out, a foul.
Hamilton superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 34 points as the Thunder routed Minnesota 124-94 to win the Western Conference Finals in 5 games. SGA was named the West Finals MVP, and Oklahoma City dominated from the get-go. They led 26-9 after the first quarter and 65-32 at the half. It was the 4th time in these playoffs that Oklahoma City has won by at least 40 points, the first time that's ever been done. The Thunder will play Indiana or New York in the finals. The Pacers lead the Knicks 3-1 with Game 5 on tap tonight in the Big Apple.
Barca shakes him free, in front, scores! Carter Verhaeghe finds the wide open side of the net, and he puts it in to put Florida back out front 4-3.
Waterdown's Carter Verhaeghe broke a 3-3 tie with 7:39 to play as the defending champion Florida Panthers beat Carolina 5-3 to advance to their third straight Stanley Cup final. Florida is the 9th franchise in league history to compete in 3 consecutive finals, and the first to do so since Tampa Bay from 2020 to 2022. The Panthers will face the winner of the Western Final between Dallas and Edmonton, with the Oilers up 3-1. The Stars will host Game 5 of that series tonight. And then there were 3. Host Rimouski is out at the Memorial Cup after they lost 6-2 against Moncton last night. Gabe Smith had 2 goals and 2 assists for the Wildcats, who will take on the London Knights in the semifinal tomorrow night. The winner will advance to Sunday's final against the Medicine Hat Tigers.
Fly ball, left field, deep. Gone!
The Blue Jays haven't had many late-game clutch hits this season, but they got a big one last night in Texas. Bo Bichette smashed a pinch-hit 2-run home run in the 9th inning to give Toronto a 2-0 win in the rubber match against the Rangers. The shortstop was not in the starting lineup due to a lower back tightness, but looked pretty good on that swing. Texas managed just 1 hit in the game, and it came in their first at-bat. At the French Open, Montreal's Gabriel Diallo faces Tyon Grexpoor of the Netherlands in second-round play this morning. Denis Shapovalov takes on Austria's Filip Misalik later on. Tomorrow, Burlington's Victoria Mbako plays 8th-ranked Qinwen Zheng of China. What a heartbreaking loss for Toronto FC. TFC led 1-0 in the 75th minute and looked to be on the way to their second home win of the season against the Eastern Conference leading Philadelphia Union. But Philly scored in the 86th minute and 92nd minutes in front of about 14,000 dejected fans who attended Toronto's 300th regular season home games. A video has surfaced on social media that shows New England Patriots receiver Stephon Diggs passing a bag of pink crystals to women on a boat. Pat said Coach Mike Vrabel declined to comment on whether he has spoken to Diggs about it, but he did confirm that he is aware of the video. The 31-year-old Diggs signed with the Patriots this offseason after he tore the ACL in his right knee last October while playing for Houston.
All right, let's have a look and see what's happening on the roads and in the weather. First of all, it's 6:12 in the morning on your Thursday. Thanks for being here and spending part of your morning with us. So before we get to the weather, let's have a look and see what's happening on the roads. One trouble spot is still a trouble spot. So which way is the trouble spot? Well, it must be on the left, and it must be Toronto-bound lane to the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Very, very busy the last couple of days, and today follows that tradition. For the rest of Niagara, not seeing any major problems out that way. Okay, we seem to be having some problems with our cameras, but that's okay. We'll just move them around a little bit here. There we are. East of Guelph Line, it looks like things are drying up just a little bit, as you can tell by the road there, but traffic's moving along in good shape. By Pearson Airport, foggy conditions, so if you're heading that way, just be aware of that. And also be aware of changing conditions. You could see some rain, just cloudy conditions, or some fog over the next little while. So just be aware of that when you get on the roads. Now, earlier we talked a bit about, or saw the news story about the big wildfires that are causing all kinds of problems in Manitoba. Does it affect us? Not really at this point, but we are watching, again, we'll go back to that map. We are seeing, again, a little bit of high-level smoke coming down our way. Really not going to notice anything, shouldn't be a problem for anybody, but it's way up in the higher atmosphere. But for now, that's what we've got on the go. So, again, the smoke is not affecting us right now. What is affecting us is a couple of low-pressure systems moving through, which will help to take down the temperatures over the next couple of days a little bit, but also continue to bring us rainy conditions today and into tomorrow before things clear up. And then we're hoping as we get into Saturday, high pressure starts to move in. And we could see, as we'll look at the extended forecast in a few minutes, we could see 6 days or so, 5 or 6 days or so, of mostly sunny skies and increasing temperatures. So that's kind of the good news. We've been waiting for it for a while. Temperatures outside right now, a couple of degrees warmer than they were for most of these areas this time yesterday. 12s in Hamilton, Mississauga, Toronto, 13 in Grimsby as we speak. Your almanac for today. Sun will be up, or was up, at 5:40 a.m., be down at 8:50 p.m. Normal highs, 22 degrees this time of year. And we're looking for, again, much like yesterday, kind of a soggy day with some cloudy skies out there and some rain off and on, and also fog mixed in all over the place. So high of 19 for today, which is a couple of degrees, of course, below seasonal. 20 kilometer-an-hour winds, and showers will be with us all day long. And they'll continue into the evening with some fog possible and a low of 10, which is very, very seasonal for this time of year. And tomorrow's high, 22 degrees. So bang on what it should be. 30 kilometer-an-hour winds, they pick up a bit. And again, we'll start the day with a little bit of sun, but then in the afternoon looking for some showers to move into the area. As far as the extended forecast, what's happening in the weekend? Well, we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Steve. Coming up after the break, Canada Post says it has made its final offers to the union representing postal workers. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Live. In business news this morning, the Canadian dollar is down by 1 basis point to 72.32 cents U.S. Gold is $17.20 an ounce lower, and crude is up 73 cents to $62.57 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are down in London but up in Frankfurt and Paris.
In Asia, the markets were up today in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai, up by quite a bit in some parts. North American markets, the TSX was up by 14 points. The Dow dropped 244. The Nasdaq fell by almost 100. But U.S. stock futures are pointing to a higher open this morning as a U.S. trade court decision to block most of Donald Trump's proposed tariffs. That's our top story this morning. And Simone Gavros has lots more details coming up on that at the bottom of the hour.
Canada Post is laying out what it calls its final offer to the union, representing 55,000 workers. The Crown Corporation says the contract proposal includes a signing bonus of up to $1,000, better cost of living allowances, and an end to compulsory overtime. Management's offer of a nearly 14% cumulative wage hike over 4 years remains unchanged, as does a plan to hire part-time staff for weekend delivery, a major sticking point in the talks. Meantime, Canada Post is reporting an $841 million loss before tax for 2024 as the Crown Corporation releases its annual report. The Post Office saying its operating losses for the year were a whopping $1.3 billion. Total revenue decreased by $800 million. Canada Post said last November and December's workers' strike had a significant impact on its parcel business.
As a strike by Hamilton water employees heads into a third week, the city says Hamilton's water supply is safe.
I really want to start this off by assuring Hamiltonians unequivocally that their water, that our water, is indeed absolutely safe. I felt it important to provide some facts for Hamiltonians regarding water safety because, unfortunately, there have been some troubling claims circulating about the safety of Hamilton's drinking water.
Now, the union has raised questions about the quality of Hamilton's water, while 55 workers are off the job. The city says there is no risk, though. The two sides have been bargaining, but have no date set after they met Monday to talk about a new offer from the union. It did not result in a deal.
We're going to take a break right now. Steve is going to be back with traffic and a look at your 7-day weather forecast.
And welcome back to Morning Live at 6:23 on your Thursday. It's going to be another cloudy one, a foggy one in some areas. We'll see that in a second. But now the big slow spot remains the Burlington Skyway Bridge on the Toronto-bound lanes. And again, this has been a theme pretty much all this week since Tuesday anyway, of slowness through this area. Another spot that we're watching up by Pearson. airport. So again, you can see conditions change. Towards Hamilton, it's drier. Toronto, foggy, rainy conditions still there, but traffic's moving along in pretty good shape. Down towards the Niagara area, again, things are drying up, starting to dry up just a little bit, so that's not a bad thing. And coming out of Niagara, as we look at QW and Millen Road, traffic is fairly light right now, so that's okay. So, but again, this is our slow spot here. Eastbound lanes through the Hamilton area and Walker's Line, again, fairly busy, but it looks like it's drying up a little bit. Although that doesn't mean that the rain has stopped, it just means that it's taking a bit of a break. It'll come back, no doubt, today, rest of today, and into tomorrow as well. So what we've got on the go here right now, so again, low pressure, a couple of them are moving through the area, lots of cloud today, showers off and on, more or less like yesterday. Tomorrow, it'll thin out just a little bit, and as we get into later parts of Friday, we'll start to see high pressure move into the area from out west and bring with it a little cooler temperatures into the weekend on Saturday ahead of that high pressure system, but also giving us some clear skies, opening the door to some nicer conditions. So we'll show you that in just a second. But Thursday's planner looks like this. We'll get up to 17, maybe 19 in the Hamilton area. But again, showers are off and on throughout the day will be the story around here. And as we look at your evening commute, doesn't change a whole lot. Although you folks in Niagara could get a little bit of sun for the drive home, say between 4, 5, 5:30 or so. And certainly a little cooler in the Hamilton area. The extended forecast shows that showers today, a high of 19 degrees. It's going to warm up and maybe get a little bit sunnier later on tomorrow and into the weekend, cooler but dry, and into next week. Look at these temperatures. If that all happens, we've got a nice stretch of days ahead of us once we get by the next two. That's a look at things for now.
Well, today marks the 72nd anniversary of the first successful summit of Mount Everest.
It was on May 29th, 1953, that Sir Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and Nepali Sherpa Tenzing Norgay became the first climbers known to reach the highest point on Earth. Oh, so many more have done it since then. This month alone, Nepal's Department of Mountaineering says 468 climbers from 57 countries received permits to climb Everest, with a roughly equal number of mountain guides, and most of them made it to the top. Now, climbers have to report to the department with proof that they reached the summit, and most importantly, cleared their garbage before they are issued an official certificate. The summit of Everest is more than 29,000 feet above sea level. That's as high as the cruising altitude of many airplanes. Is it on your bucket list?
That's a long way up. No,
Yeah.
No, that's too far up for me.
I'm okay, like climbing the 500 Wentworth Street stairs in
Yeah, that's
City of
high enough.
Hamilton. That's enough for me.
Yes. Stay with us. More to come after the break. Yeah, that's real.
Down on creation and beyond.